Hi, I'm Kathleen.
And I'm Sean.
And you're listening to the Dead Baby Bear podcast.
Dead Baby Bear.
Ooh.
Long story. Welcome to the Dead Baby Bear podcast, starring Kathleen McGee.
And Sean LeComber.
No, don't put my name in it.
Why not?
I just thought it'd be funnier if it would be you, and then people could just assume I was Corey Seckinger.
I love how you're gonna be the king of the inside.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be.
Hopefully we get listeners from Australia and they'll be like, oh yeah, that Corey Seckinger.
Yeah, just the lowest form of name dropping ever. That guy's my brother. You'd have to be family to know who I'm talking about.
You do name drop like nobody's. I mean, not that Corey Seckinger is a nobody.
No.
That may sound real bad, but you do drop names of people that no one knows.
I mean, it's just this podcast is off to a weird start. I think if I dropped it near the middle, it would have, landed better. But now it looks like our podcast is about Corey Seckinger.
Right off the top, dropping the name Corey Seckinger. Why don't you explain to the audience who Corey Seckinger is?
He's a great man and a wonderful comedian, and we're all proud to know him.
It's true.
Yeah.
Everything you just said is completely true.
And he's actually, people like, they're the reason why I always hesitated to do a podcast, because my favorite podcasts are bad comedians doing a podcast.
Because
so I'm
it's bad?
Yeah, because I'm worried that other people will listen to ours in the same way.
Oh, yeah. Well, some people will. Some people will hate us, but listen to it anyway.
Yeah.
And that's the goal of all comedians, is to have all of their enemies listening to everything that they do.
Do you have enemies?
I'm sure I have enemies.
If you say you're sure you have enemies, you don't have enemies.
What? That doesn't make
An enemy is
sense.
somebody that's like, I shall spite you, Kathleen.
Well, we both know we both have the same enemy. We're not going to name drop, but we have
Oh,
enemies. Yeah. You have enemies.
I don't know if I have enemies. Like, I have people that, wouldn't help me if I was stranded.
That's an enemy.
That's not an enemy. It's just a person who's not willing to put their life at risk for me. I don't hold it against them.
I don't know, how at risk I'd put myself. I consider us really good friends, but I don't know if I would jump in front of a bullet for you.
How many? I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't know.
It depends it would depend on how depressed I was that day.
I'll do it.
That's the best time to be a hero, is when you're super depressed.
That's a real murder-suicide. When somebody's going to kill your friend and you're like, fuck it. This will take the heat off the funeral. You know what I mean? You can die a hero instead of a bridge monkey,
Yeah, that's actually, that's a pretty dark thing to talk about, but I have I thought
from
about
Seckinger to suicide. It actually sounds pretty reasonable.
I don't know. I just think that would be, there's so many people that want to go, and then there's so many people who don't want to go. It would be nicer to be able to put your name on a list and be like, hey, if you need someone to go into a burning building, call me. Because I don't want to live anymore.
I always think the weirdest ones are when, did you ever hear that story about the dad? It's always a dad. There was a house fire and his kids were in there and he didn't save them.
Was that the one in the East Coast?
Yeah, I think so.
That one was horrifyingly and sad. There was 6 kids in there.
Yeah, and it was kind of his fault there was a fire. One of his Def Leppard posters was caught on fire or something.
No, he was from Syria. He didn't know. This was a different.
Oh, this must be a different dad who let his kids die. The one I'm thinking of. He was a white gentleman. And people believed him. I tried to get in, but... And then the forensic stuff, they were no, it looks like he had a clear path to the bedroom, and he just... the knobs didn't even get hot.
He just didn't want to break a sweat.
Yeah. Looks like the pattern here is all in the kitchen. The hallway was completely clear. He just let him die of smoke inhalation.
Oh my God.
Weren't even any flames.
Oh my God.
No, I can't
You have
remember.
kids. You'd run into a burning building for them.
Yeah. Depends on how many stairs were involved. If we're talking 9/11, no. I'm not going up 80 flights of stairs for him.
You couldn't get through in 9/11. It was stairs, empty fire-filled floors, more stairs.
Yeah, and then
that's
some
where
weird.
They were.
Yeah, some weird phone calls. Hey Trish, I'm not going to be home for dinner. Looks like everything below us is smoke.
I love that we're just laughing about
the anatomy of a jumper, but no, this is a tough start.
That's This is what's going to get people hooked on this podcast. If people are listening to this podcast called Dead Baby Bear, they can't expect to us to be talking about wholesome stuff. Like, we'll probably get one or two.
Dead Baby Bear doesn't even make sense.
It makes perfect sense.
It's a road story, but it's not really. Road stories don't turn into podcasts generally.
Well, this one did.
Okay.
We don't want to be like every other podcast.
No, we're going to be different than other podcasts. We're going to do a scratch and win. At the end of every podcast. And I get 80% if we do win anything. What is our rule for this? It has to be like split 3 ways.
Well, it'll be split 3 ways kind of fairly. Whoever buys it
Wait a
more.
minute. Whoever buys it.
That's like the weird thing though. Like, you know,
I guess you're right. No. You'd get your money back. So how much was this?
$5.
Yeah. So you get 5 off the hop, and then we split the rest evenly.
Exactly. Evenly. Yeah. As long as I make my money back.
Yeah. You got to get your 5 back.
That's always like I like to give these as birthday gifts because it's kind of like a cheap birthday gift. But then I'm always like, what if they win and they don't give me any? I'll be super pissed.
Yeah. Like, well, that's how you find out.
Lotteries have really ruined friendships and families.
Well, that's how you find out like how cheap people are, right? Because I don't like I get to live in a world where I think I would be generous if I had money. I've never had money.
Yeah.
So like my dad's cheap. He's got money, but he doesn't help people. So you're like, what an asshole.
I find most people that have money are kind of cheap. Not all, because I don't want someone who's really rich out there to get all butthurt and be like, but I just gave $20,000 to a children's hospital. But I do find that like people that don't have money or didn't have money are a lot more like frivolous with their money once they get it. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I always think like, oh no, I'm a generous person, but I've never proven it. Like you know what I mean?
Had the
like,
means to prove
right.
it.
But so I get to live in this world where like I'm pretend generous. Well, I would be generous. Trust me.
If I could.
But then if somebody actually said like, hey, you won 50,000, should you give some to Kathleen? I'd be abso-fucking-lutely not. But she's struggling. Like, yeah, I know. A lot of people are. And then I would just go to Mexico 8 times.
Yeah, we're all struggling.
And I would lie to you. Like if we were doing a podcast and I won $50,000 and you were like, oh my God, I just wish I had $100 for all those nice teas I've had my eyes on. I'd be like, fuck you. I wouldn't like. Have you ever had money? Like, never had it. No, I would just pretend I never had it.
How would you be able to keep that quiet though? I'm like a loudmouth. There's no way I could not share that I just won a bunch of money.
I guess you're right. I would struggle with that.
It'd be hard, or you just start showing up in your Gucci.
And
we're like, what happened to you, Sean?
The funniest story about that is I was a manager at McDonald's.
Ooh, stop name dropping.
Okay. Location drop. Fort Saskatchewan.
Job dropping.
Job dropper. And then there was this man who was mentally handicapped. And he worked at McDonald's full time. Yeah. And he just seared meat. That was all he did. But he would win a Sports Select ticket. Yeah. For probably $40, $50. And he would come in with his uniform pressed in a bag and give it to you and go, yeah. I'll never see you. Like, fuck off. I'm done. Yeah, like he would come in with the pressed uniform and his keys. He only had one key. He could only get into the trash compactor room. But and it would happen once every 3 months. Once every 3 months, like
then
he would come in with his uniform pressed and look at you like fucking.
You're never gonna
stuff
see
it up
me
your
again.
ass.
I'm never grilling no more meat.
I just shit on your desk. I don't have a desk. Where did he shit?
I love that it's like just such a minuscule amount of money that he was like, fucking my life is changed.
And then his mom would call and go, was Trent in earlier today? Yeah, he can you please give him his job back? Like he just won $50 on Sports Select.
Maybe he just wanted to be able to release his anger. And that's the best way he could do it. And he knew that he'd always get his job back.
Yeah. No, and he always did. People were like, oh, we'll get him back. Yeah, for sure. But sometimes he'd be rude about it. Like, come in, like, here you go, you fuck it. And then just toss his key. There you go.
Oh, my God. I wish
suck on that.
I could have seen that. He's a hero.
And I was 16, and I was just like, other people are like, what is his? And I'm like, just relax. Like, you know, he's got some problems.
Was
and
McDonald's your first
job?
The
Hurricanes must have tied the Leafs last night. He just won a fucking tootie and he's shutting her down with pressed pants He would come in like they'd be all pressed and like it wasn't like some ratty old uniform.
Crumpled it up and like was like, "Fuck you guys." He took some time to make it look nice.
Yeah, and like if you worked at McDonald's back in the day, everybody's uniform smelled like grease. Eventually, like so even like. The girls, they just smelled like grease.
Yeah.
The dirty, disgusting grease pit.
Yeah.
But this guy, for some reason, like I don't know how he got the smell out, but he would go home and just hand wash it.
He'd buy really expensive detergent with his Sports Select winnings.
Yeah. But and then he would come back and not even explain himself. Like he would just, the next day he would just punch in his uniform. Like, yeah, ready to go.
I'm back.
But I used to run some weird scams. I used to freeze people's uniforms for some reason.
I
thought that was funny. Yeah, like I would hose their uniform down with hot water, put it in the freezer 2 hours before their shift started, and then like 10 minutes before they arrived, I would put their frozen uniform in their locker.
Did they leave their uniforms there?
Yeah, they were in lockers and stuff, but
wow.
that didn't stop me.
No, of course not. Why would that?
If you're not going to lock it, it's not a locker.
Were you a manager there?
Yeah, I was a manager.
How old were you when you were a manager?
15.
At McDonald's? 15? And
Sexism at its finest. Because there was like...
Because there was a 48-year-old woman that had worked there for 20 years.
No, there was 2 chicks with university degrees.
And you were their manager?
Of course I was.
Oh my
Listen
God.
to me, ladies. Yeah, that's what I told them. No,
oh my
I didn't do that.
God.
But yeah, I was given the role of manager ahead of like 2 chicks that had university degrees.
What does a McDonald's manager do at age 15?
You wear a clip-on tie and you count floats. Like I had to make sure the money was all right.
Yeah.
And then sometimes somebody would be like, I want to talk to a manager.
Yeah.
And then they would see me and they'd be like, oh, great. This fucking zit-riddled 14-year-old is going to fix my problems.
You were literally like a Simpsons character.
Yeah, and they always had the same question. Why don't you open another till? Oh, we never thought of that. We never thought about...
You have about 4 tills here. Why is only one open?
And they would start a mutiny in the line. Like they would look at other customers and be like, why don't they open another fucking till? And then somebody would be like, yeah, they should open another till. We're backed up here. And then I want to talk to your manager about opening another till. Like, all right, you open the fucking till. But you couldn't even explain to them, like, yeah, it's a staffing issue in the back. It's nothing to do with the front.
Yeah.
Like, we're struggling to make the food.
If we have another till open, your cheeseburger is going to take 20 minutes.
Yeah. So basically how McDonald's currently is.
Yeah. McDonald's, the things that always happen at McDonald's is the ice cream machine is always broken, or the frap machine is always broken.
That's right, after 11 p.m.
After 11 p.m. They're always like, oh, we're cleaning it. Sure, you're cleaning it.
Yeah,
whatever.
with a recorder wand. Like, what are you cleaning it with? Like, what does it have to do? Like, just clean it.
With a recorder wand.
Like,
with a rag on the end of it. Just like,
there you go. Yeah, just a wet nap.
Or they also always make you, if you're going in drive-through, I hate that I know this much about McDonald's. It just tells so much.
But you do.
I do. You always have to they're like, we're just waiting for fresh French fries. Please drive around. I'm like,
no.
And then you got to go wait for them to come out?
Nope, I never do that.
No?
Because then you've lost all your leverage, right? As a customer. So I've already paid you.
Yeah.
You took my money at window 1.
Won't do
I
that?
will not park. No, thank you.
Oh my God.
I'll be right here at the fucking window if you need me.
You literally just stand your ground.
Yep,
and
I
don't
stand
move.
my ground.
I never even thought of
yeah,
that.
you go to the second window and they're like, "Hi, we're just parking for everything you ordered. Can you please?" Like, no, we will not be doing that.
Absolutely.
And then they're like, they're mad at you for a minute.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit. This guy won't even park it.
And then it's done in 10 seconds.
And then they start hustling. They're like,
and then they're like, I bet you this guy used to be a manager here.
That's right. They know that. They know that about me.
They can tell that about
But I
you.
just look at them and I'm like, nope, I ain't parking it. Nope.
I like what you do in drive-thrus. We've done this with me in the car before, where you you order something, you give them their money, and they go, "Thanks, love you," and you just drive away.
I know. I have a habit of saying "I love you" randomly. Like if a marshal drives by me on a golf course, I'll be like, "I love you," and then if you say "I love you," it's a joke. But if you just say "love you," then they're like, "What the fuck?" Like, he loves me, kind of.
But maybe you actually change someone's day by telling them you love them.
Yeah, well, you just throw love in. People are like, "Oh, I don't even care if it's real. I just, I like that word."
You just love the word love.
Yeah, love you. And they're like, sometimes they're like, because it's a male instinct to be like, "Love you too." So
that's a male instinct?
Yeah, love you too, you know.
That's a male instinct.
Yeah, because you have to learn to say it without love, and then sometimes you do love them, and then other times you don't. So you're always practicing your lies.
I feel like I'm a man then.
Are you always love you?
Love you.
But do you say love you first,
back.
or do you say love you too?
Love you too. Sometimes I say love you first.
Sometimes I say I love you too first. just to be an egomaniac about it.
Just like you're like, I know what you were gonna say.
I love you too.
I'm just gonna preempt.
I don't even love you. Like, I also love you. I know what you were gonna say. So should we like do a little bit?
Wait to do this,
I can't wait. I went through a period of my life.
You need a coin, or can you use your fingers?
Oh, I can use my fingers.
I don't like using my fingers because it's kind of gross.
I went through a period of my life. Usually when I'm broke, I'll go through these periods where I'll buy a bunch of scratch and wins.
It's always when you're so broke that you just are like, you're like, maybe this is going to be the one.
It's never anything.
Never.
It's never anything. It's $50. And you're like, 50, what am I going to do with $50? Quit McDonald's?
One time, Adam and I were living in Vancouver. We were like super, super broke. We always get the set for life. And we went and we won a free ticket. So we went and got the free ticket, went outside and scratched it. Then we won $10. We went and got 2 tickets, scratched them, won 20. Got
Should
4
we go
tickets,
back in?
and then we won 50. And literally, I looked at him. I'm like, "We're eating at Subway tonight." Like, this is how sad and poor we were.
Yes, foot long.
Don't
order off the shit menu.
No,
it's not cold cut combos tonight. It's full tuna.
No, BMT for me. I'm getting one of those molded chicken things.
God, the cold cut combos are gross, aren't they?
I just feel like cold cuts are like anything like bologna or like anything that's just been like ground up and just refined into this mushed up. Like I like a prosciutto or something like that's like real meat. But
do you know people that prefer Mr. Sub to Subway?
No.
Who are those people? Because I do know a couple people that are like, oh, you're going to fucking Subway, like. Go somewhere nice like Mr. Sub. And I'm like, you think Mr. Sub?
Go treat yourself at Mr. Sub.
You think Mr. Sub is better with their shitty green olives?
Oh, God.
What are you doing?
Of any kind. I know somebody who, like, his parents owned a Subway in high school.
Ooh, and so he was fuckable.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Husband material.
Oh, yeah. That's really want to get into that family. Get into that franchise crazy family.
Yeah, he's rolling with a toasted 3-inch, if you know what I mean.
There was no foot long in
that.
A
pressed 3-inch.
Toasted and
pressed. A dick with grill marks on it. Who's sucking that? Only Kathleen would suck a dick with grill marks on it.
I mean, probably. I like sausages with grill marks on them.
Yeah, little hot Franks.
Maybe if you just got some grill mark tattoos on your dick.
It would be weird. The spacing would be weird.
Them a little bit more appetizing.
I'd put 7 on there, but they'd be like, it would look like a ruler. Yeah, little millimeters.
Anyways, this guy
said...
I'm surprised I'm not the one that started talking about dicks. But this guy, he was only allowed to put 6 olives. So if you got half of a foot long, you got 3 black olives. If you got a full foot long, you got 6 black olives. And his parents would give him shit.
God.
If they put any more on it, I'm like, ugh.
Then how stingy were they with fucking real ingredients like cucumbers?
Right?
Like if that's your olive policy, how do you feel about tomatoes? Oh my God!
I think olives are expensive though, aren't they? I hate olives.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they're expensive or not. Like, not the way they have it. Like, hey, would you like these little things that are soaked in water?
And taste like shit. Taste like
they don't really add anything,
salt.
do they? Yeah, you're right. They taste like
they ruin everything, is what they do.
And I don't even mind them on a sub, but I will admit that they taste like nothing. They don't add anything. They take
over everything. They don't taste like nothing. They take over everything.
They're not locusts.
Yes, they are. Olives. If
Olives are the locust of the submarine.
On a piece of pizza or anything, you can taste it in everything. It's horrifying.
That's just your thing.
I don't think I'm alone on this. I'm sure our listener will agree.
Our listener, Corey Seckinger.
I'm sure Corey will agree with me that olives are fucking gross. He works in a kitchen sometimes, doesn't he?
Don't remind me. Yeah, no, I've had some food from there and wondered, were these made with feet? You know what I mean? I don't know. I just assume he makes things with his feet.
Why?
Just mixing in bowls and whatnot, but. Did feet touch this pizza? That's what I think.
I want to know something. You worked at McDonald's. What was your favorite off the menu? Like, you and Christina Walkinshaw are McDonald's.
Yeah, I was
comrades,
super fat when I worked there. Yeah, I used to make like the only thing that I made that was off the beaten path was just like sausage and egg McMuffins, but instead of that shitty poached egg, I put on like nice scrambled egg. Like remember the scrambled egg you get in the big breakfast?
Why can't they do that anymore?
So that's all I made was like these because we had little scrambled egg makers. Like you just crack 2 eggs, put it in this metal tray, slid it back and forth, and it was done in 3 seconds.
See, like I want them to. I wish McDonald's would just. I hate that
egg is just so inconsistent. Like sometimes it's perfect, and other times you're like, you gotta be fucking kidding.
I know.
What
I do love those breakfast sandwiches, but it is very inconsistent.
Yeah, no, I'm not. So I use that, but I used to eat probably 6 of those a day.
Like sausage or bacon.
I'd mix it up.
Try different things.
But I've still never had a filet of fish.
Me neither.
And I worked there for a long time.
There. Do people even order them?
People do order them, but then what we end up having at the end of the day is like a garbage bag filled with pop and fillets. So you just lift it out, and it's just wet filet of fishes from all the root beer that kids didn't drink.
Oh my God, those fish never even got to.
They never got it. That's the only chance they got to swim was in a fucking garbage bag filled with root beer. The rest of the time they were in fishy cages, I assume. Oh. What kind of McDonald's fish are you? Like, how big is that milk crate that you swim around in?
Have you seen those new commercials? It's like about Alberta beef and stuff, and it's always weird to me because it's a rancher right off the top, and he seems really defensive. Have you seen these commercials?
Yeah, and he's
like, I never told you that it wasn't real meat, and I was like, who asked him? What? Like,
well, yeah,
really
and he was, and it's like beginning. He's it's because he's an actor trying to portray a real farmer.
I always want to believe that it's real people,
so
not actors.
They're bad at that. Some actors are really bad at pretending to be farmers.
Yeah, why?
Because they have to be. I'm not an actor. I'm a real farmer.
I'm a gruff rancher.
I'm not an actor pretending to be a farmer. I'm a farmer. I'm bad at it.
But
why don't you go back to acting like a farmer?
At the beginning of this commercial, he's so angry and defensive, and I'm like, why are you? Who's telling you that your meat sucks? I don't know.
And Alberta beef, let's be honest, it isn't even that great.
I mean, it's better than most places.
When you go to like Ruth's Chris, when you're rich like me and you go to Ruth's Chris,
yes,
every third Tuesday, you'll have options for like you. There was one time I went and there was like an option for U.S. beef and Alberta, and I'm like, what the hell? I'll try the U.S. And the U.S. was like. And then the other guy got Alberta, and we like split it in half. And I'm like, you know what? This U.S. beef is like 10 times better
because it's filled with corn. They feed them corn
and hormones and whatever.
Are obese, and you're eating an obese cow.
Great. Fat beef needs love too, Kathleen. What kind of world would we be in? Stop fat shaming American beef.
I remember when I was in America and I saw the fat on the meat was yellow, and I'm like,
that's kind of fun.
Fuck?
That's what all fat is.
No, but it's white here.
Are you talking about in a human body?
No, in a steak.
Oh, in a steak.
No, I've never eaten a human. I don't know what the rump.
But if you cut us open, you wouldn't be like, oh, that fat looks nice. Like it would be a horrifying color that we're filled with.
Oh, I don't ever want to. I went to that body exhibit. You know that inside the body.
That's right.
That is the worst. Except for I can't go to that because I just look at the dicks. I just look at the dicks and I'm like,
see, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
I'm just immature. I'm too immature for that shit.
They don't. Yeah. Well, I went to one of those. Do they have any good dicks in them, or are they usually? Yeah. Yeah. Really? There's some.
The basketball player had a huge.
What?
One.
They had a basketball player from like 3,000 years ago from China?
Not 3,000 years ago. No.
I thought. What exhibit are you talking about?
The Body Works one. Where
I only went to the one where everybody's from China and they died as slaves or whatever.
No. What?
They gave their bodies to science. Because they had to.
They were forced to.
They were absolutely forced to.
No, it was like the Body Works one, and they had like athletes to show you the athletes. They had smokers' lungs and like non-smokers'
lungs. So were these
lungs.
real dead people?
Yeah, people like donate their body to this
of course the big dick guy does. What a douche. I hate that guy. It's like, this dick can't just fucking be eaten by squirrels.
Wait,
I'm going to put it on display forever.
Do you think that squirrels live in coffins?
No, but I mean, I don't know. There might be the third in or whatever, right? You know, starts with birds. They take your eyes, and then I don't know. I don't know what happens when you're dead.
What children?
I'm in heaven. What do I care what's happening? I'm in heaven with my grandma and my cats.
I don't want any of my body alive. I'm like, I've signed my donor card. Like, I have any organs that they could ever use.
No, you like, I would fucking, as soon as I saw dead Kathleen, I would just put an unharvest sticker right on your back. Just like, do not harvest. Do not harvest this bitch's organs.
I know. That's why I feel like I've signed my donor card. I've signed everything, but I'm like, why am I doing this?
You're unharvestable.
And be like, this woman thought we'd want any of this.
Oh yeah, it's harvest season and this crop's dead.
And it died 5 years before she did.
Yeah, let's get that pancreas in. Great.
Oh my God.
Yikes. No, I'm sure you've got great organs.
I don't think so. Sometimes I get a pain inside. I'm like, oh, which organ was that? Which organ is hurting me
You're
right
a baby.
now?
I've been a smoker forever.
Yeah, you are.
So I'll get like, whoa, that was root to tip. Whoa, almost died completely there. Like you'll just get an electronic impulse that starts at your pinky toe and shoots into your brain.
Like a stroke?
Like a stroke.
You're not going to Luke Perry on us, are you?
Hey, that's sad.
It is sad.
Is it? What happened to him?
He died of a stroke.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not afraid of strokes for some reason.
No.
I kick the shit out of a stroke. Yeah, I'm a golfer. No, I don't. I have a lot of.
He died doing what he loves, stroking.
I have a lot of death fears, but strokes aren't one of them.
No, what's your death fear?
Cancer, heart disease.
Yeah, I don't want something that's going to kill me slowly.
Well, I don't know. You kind of need. You're going to need a lot of time to say goodbyes, though.
Yeah, I can't. That's like me at parties. I gotta say goodbye to everyone. I'm not one of those people that's just like out. I would be like, bye.
You need a slow death.
I do.
Just to like say your proper goodbyes. Like I could get hit by a bus and people would be like, oh. But with Kathleen, they'd be like, oh, I never did get to say
goodbye.
Proper goodbye to Kathleen. But they would never say, oh, I never did get to talk to Sean. It's probably best. It's probably for the best. I didn't have a chance to hug him goodbye.
I think everybody should have to guess how they're going to die.
What if you guess wrong and then you die of it? What happens?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it would be cool to just like you put it in an envelope.
Oh, that's not a bad one.
And then at your funeral, they open it and be like, she knew she was going to die in a car crash. And then you just win karma points.
But you're already dead.
Well, then someone collects them on Earth for you.
Oh,
I don't know.
Okay, yeah. So maybe you come back as the animal you want it to be.
Yeah, your reincarnation will be better.
Yeah. What would you come back as?
A house cat?
Fuck a house cat. No way.
Why
house
not?
Cat? You could be a horse. You could be a steed.
I'd like
Kathleen,
to carry
you could be a steed
all day.
They love that.
They love that.
Well, yeah. Can you imagine if
I got on a horse once in Mexico and it groaned. It was the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I got on it, it was like, oh.
Uh-oh. This horse is called Open Mic Night.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Open Mic Night. Yeah. Do the tightest 7 you got, and then we'll come back. No, but horses do seem like they want to be dead. But, like, we pretend that they love it.
We pretend that they love it, but I don't know if they love carrying us around all
I have more respect for cats than dogs and horses, though.
Yeah, because cats are just assholes, and they do what they want, and they get treated amazing.
Well, we never needed them, and we're like, look at how much they've burrowed their way into our lives, and we never needed them. Like, we needed without horses, humans wouldn't be here.
Transportation, yeah.
Without dogs, humans wouldn't be here.
Protection, yeah. Dogs were protection.
And cats, we never needed them.
Cats just showed
but
up
we still, they shit in our home, and we siphon it, you know.
Cats some people just show up and be like, hey.
You don't need me for anything. I'll just shit in your corner.
I'm going to live here now. And you're going to cuddle me. And you're going to think I'm so cute.
And dogs, if a dog shit in your house, you'd be like, what the hell, you fucking sick piece of shit.
My dog, when he shits in the house, I lose my fucking mind on him. The cat has a litter box full of shit. Well, we clean it, but we had to get a better litter box because my dogs kept eating her shit.
That's kind of a fun story.
No, it was awful. I'd come home every day and my one dog would be like, nah, 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 nah.
Why would you care? They're doing your work for you.
I don't, because it's
I don't have to change the litter box anymore because the dogs are eating it.
Because they would eat it on the couch.
Yeah.
And there'd be shit on the couch.
Yeah, you should get them some little plates they can dine on.
Some shit plates.
Yeah, some cat shit plates
cat shit
that
plates.
are just outside the litter box.
No, we got her like a little, it's like a big cylindrical thing, and then it's got a cover on it, so only she can go in there now.
We had a cat. We had a litter box that was like supposed to be this genius invention. That's like the.
Oh, does it like automatic scoop?
Yeah,
or something?
the auto scoop.
Auto scoop.
But it's like wet, right? So like it just circulates water, and then drains the urine and shit out of the bottom,
Really?
And then it goes through a tube into your toilet or down the drain. The problem is the little pellets come through, so it's all little pellets. They come through, and then it gets clogged, and now you've got like a backup of cat shit and urine mixed with water.
Ew.
And you've got to get that fixed.
That sounds awful.
Yeah. So you do that yourself. That's fun. So you don't do it. You don't touch cat
Snaking
litter for 3 months, and you're like, "Hey, this thing is magic. How did we live without it?" And then 2 days later, you're like, you're siphoning cat shit out, sucking it like fucking, sucking it out like gas you need for your car. You know, like. And then as soon as you feel a pellet on your tooth, you release. And then, no, I didn't go that far. But it is hard, it's a hard packed shit that's in there, and you've got to deal with it.
What are you feeding your cat?
I don't care. I mean, whatever like just table scraps.
You don't just table scraps. You don't go get cat food for your cat, not even the cheap cat food?
No, we have cat food. We have 3 cats, so yeah.
You got to use what we use for litter because the cats that I fostered in Vancouver, this was at the rescues, they use wood pellets, like from like starting wood wood stove or whatever. They're these little wood pellets, so as soon as they get wet, it just turns into sawdust, and it doesn't stink, and it's the best. It's not that little grainy shit isn't everywhere.
I know. Yeah, I think my wife has that, like the pellets,
best.
and then
and
she
it's so much cheaper. It's like you can go to like a Home Depot or something and get a giant bag for $6 instead of $20 for like a box of that sand litter.
Because I want to change the subject. Did you have your car broken into?
I did.
Oh,
but
no.
They didn't take anything. That's the saddest part.
I saw a picture.
They looked at my 2000 Toyota Sienna minivan and thought, this person could use to lose $500. She looks like she's doing well for herself.
Yeah.
With all the empty Red Bull cans strewn around the van.
Oh, no.
Oh, it was, I was
sad.
Pissed. I don't live in the best neighborhood. And
no, you don't.
No, I don't. And I was taking my dogs for a walk, and I was going to go and take them to visit my mom. And then I walk around the corner, and I'm like, why does that look like that? And then I'm like, oh, my God, they smashed a window. And I literally was just like, you fucking assholes. Like, they were still there.
They probably were.
Yeah. And everybody's like, did you check your van for needles? Because sometimes they like to go in there and just shoot up. Sometimes hobos like to have sex in there. I'm like, great. That's just all the things I need.
They probably just fucked in it.
And left, got a blowjob and left. Like everyone that gets into my van. Hey, yo.
Those grill marks will never leave. Well, I think it's funny when people break into your car because it's like steal nothing because it's like it's the opposite of a normal rejection, where they refuse the outside of you, like fuck that,
right?
But the inside of you is great. Cars are the opposite, where it's like I would love to break into that hot ride, and then they get in and they're like, these people have nothing.
These people have nothing. I can't do anything more to this.
There's not even a dime in the ashtray with these bastards.
There was like some roll up the rim donuts and free coffees, and they didn't take them.
Huh? Well, they were too busy fucking.
Probably and getting high, shooting up heroin. And,
who wrote that on your wall? Like they were probably just fucking at it.
I can't remember who said that,
because that's that's awful. That's an awful thing to say.
But I think that happens. There's a movie where it happens. What movie is that, Producer Jim?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's a movie where they break into a vehicle.
Where hobos fucking some car. It might be like a Harold and Kumar style movie. Dirty Mike. Yeah, what is that from? Everybody kept on saying Dirty Mike and the Gang.
The funny thing is, it's probably not even high risk behavior for them. Like if we did it, it would be like, this is crazy.
The other guys. Oh yes, Will Ferrell, Marky Mark. They
have sex in the.
Not Will Ferrell and Marky Mark, but some hobos. They leave a note that says thanks for the fuck shack.
That is pretty funny.
Maybe we should rename my van the Fuck Shack.
Puck Shack baby.
And I'm just going to, I feel like putting I think it was my stepmom. She's like, you should just write a note and say, listen, call this number and I'll give you $40. Please don't break my window. Like,
yeah.
I just like, it's.
Yeah, that should be on there instead of like, there's nothing in this vehicle. Leave it alone.
Oh, and then angry Kathleen's like, I'm going to fucking booby trap this thing and I'm going to put broken glass and I hope it gets in their fucking eyes. I was very angry. I was a very angry person. I had to go to Calgary and do a gig, so then I had to rent a car because I couldn't drive down with a window missing. God. Like, well,
very convenient for drive-thrus.
Adam's like, we'll just tape it up, and I'm like, I don't want to look that white trash. Like I do a lot of things that are white trash, but I don't want to be driving a minivan.
I would rather just drive it without the glass. Because then it just looks like I'm in full relax mode.
But then you'd freeze.
No, because it's summertime.
It's not summertime in Canada. In March is not summertime in Canada. April is not summertime in Canada.
When did that happen, the break-in?
Saturday.
Oh, my God. Yeah, like in the morning or at night?
Probably in the middle of the night, like in the early morning of Saturday. And then I came outside and I saw it and I was pissed. And my boyfriend wanted to sleep in because he had to work and he was like, he knew it was going to be busy. And then I come in tears and he goes, oh no, what now? Because whenever I come in tears, he knows it's not good. And well,
did he assume it was like relationship bad or our vehicle bad?
No, he knows that I need him too much. He knows that I need him to split the rent.
Well, I know this bitch ain't crying about me.
And he's a good man. But no, like I was like, yeah, I come in crying and he's like, what happened? I'm like, oh, we got a window smashed. And it sucked because like we're just starting to get ahead. You know what I mean? Like we left Vancouver almost a year ago and we were going deeper into debt, just living there. So now we leave and we both have like jobs that are good. And I'm like, still doing lots of comedy. So I'm getting money from like 2 good revenue streams. And then fuck you, take this money from us.
How much was it to get fixed?
It's going to be $350. It's getting fixed tomorrow. But then I had to rent that car and that cost $150.
150, yeah,
for 3 days.
So. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, son of a bitch is right.
I was volunteer. You don't have children, do you?
No, I have dogs.
You should get kids.
I should get them?
Yeah.
How do you get kids?
Just out of your vagina.
You just pick it out of your vagina?
Yeah, you just keep fucking and then one falls out.
If that's really how it was, I would have 20
Stop
kids by now.
Stop taking every precaution.
I would have 20 kids by now if that's all it took.
Kathleen's on plan Z.
I literally think that I'm barren.
Probably not.
I might be.
You got a strong build. You're harvestable.
I thought I wasn't harvestable.
Just your.
I can grow something inside of me.
Just your under area.
Yeah, but they can't. They can't.
No, they could probably harvest your uterus and give it to an old woman or something.
Are there uterus transplants? Is that a thing?
I don't know. Just people that are tired of having a hysterectomy. Kathleen's here with her weird uterus. You don't need it. Why not give it away?
I don't need it. I've thought about being a surrogate before. It'd be fun. But like, again, no one's going to be like, oh, that's horrible. Not a body I want to incubate my dream child in.
No, they'd be like, oh, yeah, it'll be safe and warm in there.
No.
And drinking.
Drinking a lot of fluids.
No, I was at school today because my kids, The Past. Have you ever heard of The Past? Yeah, the kids learn about it.
I thought this was like a new game that the kids. I'm like, what is The Past?
So we went to this like history place where they're talking about like Sir Johnny MacDonald.
Oh, I used to work at one of those museums.
But I don't know if maybe you're aware of this, but like when I was a kid, they were like Sir Johnny MacDonald, the founder of Canada. And that was the first thing they said. But now it's like Sir Johnny MacDonald, noted racist, sexist, misogynist. Like they just like list off like all the things he was.
So kids are actually learning the true history.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And he didn't like First Nations. He called First Nations people this or that or whatever. But it's like a tricky.
But he's still on our money.
Yeah, but it's a tricky history because like even the town where I live, there's like a school named James Mowat School. And it's been around forever. And
who's James Mowat? Farley Mowat's brother?
No. And then like I asked him like, what is James Mowat? And they're like, oh, it's a man who. And then you find out that all these things that are in my town that are named after things. It's like he was a white man who saved us from an attack from savages.
Wow. I mean, I think it's safe to say that almost anything that is named after most white men in the past is not going to be.
Yeah. What about white chicks?
Well, we didn't get to do much, so they didn't name a lot of things after us.
Well, then you guys run around like we never got it. Yeah, we never got a chance. Like, yeah, well,
we never got a chance to be racist and mean. They wouldn't give us.
Are you telling me Sir Johnny MacDonald's wife was like, I love the blacks? Like, you're telling me that women then weren't racist?
Oh, no, I'm not telling you that.
Okay. Because sometimes I think, like, women throughout history get this absolution of, like, they were cool.
We don't get absolution. We just didn't get a place
You couldn't vote, but you were still racist as fuck.
Yeah, but then that's the trade-off that we get from it.
Yeah. History looks back and goes, I wonder what those gals were thinking.
Nobody asks what were those gals thinking, except for other women. Other women wonder, but yeah. But now we have one woman on a bill with 6 guys surrounding her.
And what is it? What is she on, the 10 or the 5 or the 2?
There's one on the 10, and she's like the only one on the 10, which is kind of exciting. And then there's always going to be one guy like, well, there's always been a woman on the back of the bill.
Boom.
The Queen of England.
A real woman, the Queen. The Queen of England. Like, why do we even have her on the fuck? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, every Canadian woman should be like, what? Who gives a shit?
I mean,
I've never
I want to see Meghan Markle on my money. Let's get the girl from Suits on all of our money.
No, that'll happen in 100 years. Who is this weirdo? And it'll be like a picture of her when she's old. So they'll be like, oh. Like, you think that
she was hot.
You think the Queen wants her old head on it? Like,
yeah, I always wondered that because, like, when we were a kid, I mean, she was a hottie on the back of the quarter, and then slowly her crown got bigger and her face got older.
Like, when's the last time you got a headshot done?
I mean, a few years ago, but they don't look like me.
But I know it's probably your last headshot, right? You're not going to keep taking headshots as you age. No, I need to get new ones.
I want to lose weight and get. I gotta lose some weight and then get headshots done, and then I can let myself go again, and then I can show up at a show and be like, "Who the fuck is this fat bitch?"
See,
that's false advertising.
One of the problems with getting to middle age and then losing weight is it makes you look worse.
Not all people, mostly men. When you see a woman that loses weight, she usually looks like she's got her life back, but men always look like they have a disease.
Yeah.
Like there's a few guys I know that have lost weight, and I'm like, what's wrong with him?
Like tapeworm,
what happened?
Cancer.
No, he just stopped eating carbs. Are you sure it's not cancer or something? Like, they always look very sickly.
No, I mean, the only time I'll be fuckable is like the last 6 months of my life. You know, because I'll get cancer and like look pretty good for a while.
You are not.
And a bunch of girls will be like, "Hey, I've never noticed him before."
You are not even like a fat.
I'm pretty fat. Like we're
I would call you dad bod, like regular.
Dad bod,
you got a dad bod, which is cool now. Mom bod's never gonna be cool, but dad bods.
Well, you got to be a mom to have a mom bod.
Yeah, you don't have to be a dad to have a dad bod.
You're right. You can have it you can just be because you didn't even earn that bod.
Yeah.
Even dads didn't earn it.
Yeah.
We didn't fucking do anything.
No, you just.
I didn't carry anything to term. You know.
Are you one of those guys that was like when your wife was pregnant, you were just like you got pregnant with her, so you ate with her and like were her pregnancies hard?
Yeah, because she was pretty crazy. Well, because people get crazy when they're pregnant.
Hormonally crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like, they're just weird.
Yeah, just weird.
So you try to avoid them, but you can't. Unless you didn't get her pregnant. That's why it'd be nice to meet a girl who's already pregnant and then raise that kid. Because then whenever she's really annoying, you just fucking leave.
Not mine.
Not mine.
Not my responsibility.
I'll come back when you're not crazy.
Oh my God. I wish men got the emotional swings that women got.
Yeah, I think in some ways we do, but we're just, we just hide all of it.
You've been taught to stifle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like, even now, like in 2019, with people like, oh, I don't know, guys can do whatever, and girls can do whatever. We still are stuck in those. Weird. Like I'm around children all the time, and they're like, I don't care. Like when I have kids, like the gender roles of the toys will mean nothing. If you're a boy and you want to play with dolls, you play with dolls. But none of them do.
No, because they don't want to.
No.
But that's the worst part is when you should play with dolls because you just have to get in that way. And it's just like, That's just as bad as forcing a boy that's playing with dolls to not play with dolls. Like,
yeah, but it's so rare that a boy is like, I want to play with dolls. Like,
yeah.
I've never seen it. I'm sure it happens, but I've never seen it.
I'm sure it happens. I mean, I remember like some guys I went to like junior high with, and like one of them loved the Babysitter's Club, and I'm like, this is cool. A guy that loves the Babysitter's Club.
I instantly don't want to fuck him.
Oh my God. Well, I was in junior, like I was in grade 6. Like
Come on.
I wasn't thinking about
Kathleen was ready to go.
Not till grade 7.
Really? You had to go to a different school. Now that
I
I'm
was
in
in the
junior
same
high.
school. I went to the same school from kindergarten to grade 9. But there was a guy, and he loved the Babysitter's Club, and I was just like, this is so cool that a guy loves the Babysitter's Club. And yeah, he's like homosexual now.
He always was.
He always was. He dated one of my friends. But that's what's cool about today is that, there's not going to be any relationships that are forced anymore. Like, there's not going to be a guy that dates a girl and is like it's just a weird, because that's got to be like a weird thing to be trying to hide who you are and pretending that you like girls. Or vice versa with a woman who really likes women, but she's dating guys.
Yeah, I think like if you were gay when I was younger at school, if you were openly gay, it would be acceptable, but you'd never stop talking. Like people would be constantly.
Oh yeah, it wasn't like
it would be the subject of conversation every time you were in the room.
Yeah, like
every
it wasn't
time
like
you were there, you'd be gay. That's the gay guy. Like
exactly. Like when we went to like high school and stuff like that, it was sort of coming around, and people were starting to be more accepting of it, but. I remember I went to this drama camp called Arts Trek, and at the beginning...
So did I.
Did you go to that?
For improv mastery. I didn't have to pay.
Oh, you have a doctorate in improv?
That's right. I know exactly what my favorite color is. And I know exactly what my favorite room in every house is. Favorite room in the house, everybody. Bathroom. There we go. No, I did. I went to Arts Track.
Yeah, I remember there was this guy at the beginning of the week, and he was really, he was so like you could tell that he thought he was gay, but he wasn't sure. And literally 1 week,
You're
with
at
a
Arts
bunch
Track.
of arts
You know what I mean?
kids, like by the end of the week, he was like, "I'm gay," and it was actually really fucking awesome to see, because like.
Yeah.
Especially in Alberta, like even in like the city high schools, it would have been horrifying to think that you're gay. I mean, and I don't think that women. I don't know. It's so weird because I don't.
Well, there'd be a bunch of women that are like, "Are you sure?"
I don't know if there's like. I don't think women were, and I could be totally wrong. I don't think women were affected with violence as much as males would be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like it's always the same. Like, oh, you're a lesbian. Oh, like it's kind of more fun and cool. Whereas, like, yeah, if you were a gay guy, you'd have to worry about the quarter of the populace from your high school, like faggot, like every
beating
time.
You up, or, yeah.
So you'd have like some people that were cool with it, some people that like made fun of you behind your back, and then other people that just openly were stupid and like yelling at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's over.
That's
which
over.
Is good.
I think it's changed. It's kind of like when you talk to kids, like I have an 8-year-old, 9-year-old nephew, and he's like, he talks about that stuff all the time, and he knows what. I remember learning that gay, I didn't know what it meant, and then I was watching some CBC after school special, and they're like, oh, he's gay, and I'm like, what does gay mean? Well, he likes boys, and I was like, that's a thing? Oh my God.
Well, it's funny. Like sometimes people think I'm homophobic. They'll be like, "Oh, like my kid will do something like somewhat feminine." And they'll be like, "Oh, look out, he could be gay." Like, what would you do if he was gay? And I'm like, I wouldn't fucking care.
Yeah, like what would you do if he was gay?
Like, but I do get that a lot. Like, what would you do if he was like
but
gay?
But you
hang
or something?
out
with people that live in a small town of Alberta.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, I don't know if there's that many. I remember someone said that to one of my friends. What would you do if your son was gay? She'd be like, I would be so excited. I would be so excited. And like, that's the thing is like.
Finally, Chinese grandchildren.
Oh my gosh, Sean. We're not editing that out because that was kind of funny. But I am going to say that was not. Someone's going to jump on that comment.
Is that bad?
It's really funny. I don't know.
Is it racist?
No, I don't know.
I'm just saying, like, if you're a man and you find out your son's gay,
you can adopt a kid from China.
And that's better looking than white kids.
Yeah.
So I'm actually complimenting Chinese people.
I get it. Yeah. You explain away.
You explain away.
Explain away, Sean.
Dig yourself a grave and let the squirrels go. Yeah, why did I assume squirrels were the first in the casket?
I don't know. It's worms.
I think they snuck in, maybe.
And beetles, right? Isn't it like?
But how do worms get in? Like, how do they?
In the dirt. They eat their way through that coffin.
Through the wood? We need like thicker coffins then.
We need thicker coffins.
What are you going to cremate yourself?
I'm cremating myself, yeah. Myself, I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah, burn your lower half now.
Just to get half the work done.
Don't make the fire tech do all the work.
Yeah, I want to be cremated. And then I want my ashes to be sprinkled on every horrifying comedy stage that I've ever stepped on.
Oh my God. Like you know what's funny is most of the clubs will be like, nah.
No, we didn't want her on here when she was alive.
Like you met Sean LeComber wanted some of his ashes sprinkled at the comic strip, and Rick would be like, you got to be out of your fucking mind.
I think we should both make wills, and like in the will, we would like some of our ashes sprinkled at the comic strip.
And they'll be like, it's hardwood. What are you, crazy? Like, well, just around the club. Just
flush a bit down the toilet, okay? That'll make her happy.
Flush some down the handicap toilet.
Down the toilet. Yeah, I'm definitely a cremator. I wouldn't want to be. I remember being a little kid and going to like funerals of my mom's relatives, and like I saw dead bodies, and like I don't like it. I don't like being at a funeral.
No.
And then you have to walk by and like look at this person with horrible makeup, and just be like, oh, like it's very.
Yeah. The viewing process,
yeah, I don't like it. It's not for me. I want to be in a pretty urn.
I avoid all funerals. Like
I don't like funerals either. Funerals are really not fun.
No, it's like I'll find another way to say goodbye.
Oh my god! But oh my god! So I had a cousin that was killed by a drunk driver in January, and it was a horrible story. And but we were at her funeral in Edmonton. And we were sitting at the family table, and this couple that nobody knew was sitting there with us.
We're here, and then they lean back and look, we're here for the sandwiches.
That's exactly what they were there. They were funeral hopping. They were like, we're only going to be here for another 20 minutes. We've got another funeral to go to downtown.
They were fucking in the back of my cousin's grief van.
They were members of the church, and I guess I've never been part of a church, so I guess if a member
church
of the
people
church
think they're like grief experts
passes away, then everyone's invited or something.
Hi there, we all live in constant denial. Do you need our help? Don't worry, he's in heaven.
I just thought that was so funny. I'm like, that's what seniors do. Like when you're younger, you pub crawl. But in your later years,
you come crawling back to Christ. Funeral crawl. I mean, that's disgusting. So they leaned back to you like, so they saw you and they were like, they don't look like their family either.
They were being really nice.
Do you know if it's going to be cold cuts or if it's just tuna? I hate it when it's just tuna.
They were being extremely.
Hi there. Do you know what caterer they used? I don't know. My cousin's dead. Like, oh.
That's the thing. But like, I mean, honestly, it made me laugh at a really sad funeral. It made me laugh that they were just like, oh yeah, we're just here for a little bit, and then we're going to we have another funeral to get to. Like,
oh my god! So they didn't know your cousin at all.
Well, I think they knew her through because they knew my aunt, who's very active in that church, and so maybe that was their way of explaining it. But yeah,
I'm just gonna vape right here.
Do it. We're filming this.
Yeah, like that's perfect for the video. Like, what is he smoking in that? I don't know if I like that white trash podcast.
We should call this the white trash.
They're smoking cigarettes and doing scratch and wins.
We are doing scratch and wins.
And talking about fucking in a van and going to a funeral. And
we've covered a lot of different subjects on this podcast.
I think we have covered some topics.
Yeah, we've covered some topics.
Chinese grandchildren. I like how you thought that was bad. I didn't even think it was bad.
It's just a knee-jerk reaction.
What does Jim think? Do you think that was?
See, he's halfway.
He says it's fine.
Fine. I'm just
he did go like this first.
Yeah, he did go.
I wish you hadn't said it.
Yeah, I mean, I wish he didn't say it.
But I won't edit it because I hate editing.
That's why I never edit podcasts.
That's right.
I don't want to do the work.
We'll just call it Chinese grandchildren. Episode 1. The Chinese grandchildren episode. What is it called? It's called Finally Chinese Grandchildren. They are better.
I don't even know why I'm worried about anything. I don't have a career for anyone to ruin.
No, you can't.
Like if someone wants to drag me through the mud, go ahead. It'll probably make my skin softer.
Yeah, pretty hard to knock us off the lowest rung on the ladder. I'm real sturdy down here. Somebody's trying to tip me off a ladder and I'm on the bottom rung. Like, get the fuck out of here. I just elbow you in the face, you know?
Well, maybe this podcast will make people laugh at shit that they're not supposed to laugh at again. Maybe that should be the goal of this fucking podcast. I'm so tired of being scared to talk about
Make
stuff.
podcasts great again.
Make podcasts
Make podcasting great again.
Well, let's go back to 2010 when it was great, when you could say racist things on podcasts and no one got mad.
Really? You could?
I don't know.
Did people do that? I'd love to listen to those. The Sir Johnny McDonald podcast.
Yeah, listen to some early Rogan.
Podcasts from hundreds of years ago. Sir Johnny McDonald within a Chinese guy from the railroad having a fireside chat. You know what I mean? So you got the $50 you need to stay in country, or no? I don't know if that would work. But it would be funny if there was 100-year-old podcasts. Go back and listen to Sir John A., the founder of Canada.
I bet you they
Once we get rid of all these bison, we'll be okay.
Don't they have recordings, though, from, like, they would record, like, office conversations back then? I
Did
don't know,
they?
way back then, but, like,
yeah. Sir John A. McDonald.
Well,
Where did you get that voice recorder?
They did it on the Flintstones. They did it with those birds.
That's true.
The bird was always...
The birds on the Well, they did it on the Flintstones.
I mean, if they could
And that's
do it
cartoon past.
I love cartoon past.
The only history you know is cartoon past.
Where the octopus used to wash the dishes. That's how they used to do it.
That is how they did it.
That's how they did it. And then they had a warthog under the carburetor.
And your wife would still tell you you loaded the octopus wrong. Why did you load the octopus like this? You can't put 9 plates on one of its things.
You're going to wreck the octopus.
It only has 9 jets per arm. You fucking idiot.
Is there a wrong way to load a dishwasher? I think everybody has a way.
Thinks, I've got my own way. It's fully loaded.
Fully loaded. I
Load
know,
it.
I shove stuff everywhere I can get stuff.
And then whatever's still dirty when it's done stays in for load 2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have a great dishwasher, so sometimes you got to load it up twice.
That's what I do. I just load it, and then most of it's finished.
Yeah.
It's all streaky as fuck.
Yeah. You need some jet dry.
Oh, yeah, I do. I should get a little jet dry.
Get some jet dry. Okay, let's scratch this ticket.
All right, let's scratch it.
This one is a set for life. It was a $5 investment. What is the most you can win?
So game 1, 100,000 prizes to be won.
$100,000 prizes to be won.
50,000 prizes
to be won.
50. Okay, yeah. So it looks like this for Corey.
And for Corey, if you want to send in a scratchy ticket, we'll get you an address.
So what do I need to see here?
You need to match 3 things. And they always do it. They'll be like, set for life, and then nothing. If we win on this, though, I don't know.
You get angry at the third one. Set for life. Fucking
$20.
Like you're happy about the first set for life. Oh, look, a set for life. All I need
I just want to get
all
set
I need
for
is
life,
2 more
Sean.
of them.
I want to get set for life.
Oh no, the third one isn't.
Do you think this is good radio? Just watching.
Yeah.
Scratch.
The Sir Johnny McDonald podcast.
Oh my God, I love that Canadian children are being taught that our founder was a horrifying racist.
Yeah, they go to it last now. Now they're like, but he also founded Canada.
So he was bad, but we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
We'd be Russia or something.
I loved working at a living history museum. That was fun.
Yeah, were you good at it?
I was great at it. I did the tours, and then I started working as a costume interpreter.
I'm bad at scratching.
Oh my God, Grandpa, seriously.
I didn't know that oh my God, look at this.
It's disgusting. We need a coin. Hold on.
Yeah, too bad your ashtray's empty.
Let me get my purse. Too bad my ashtray is empty.
Too bad the ashtray in your car is freshly empty.
Emptied of all the dimes.
Well. We're short 1 condom out of our glove box.
I just did a swingers club over the weekend.
Oh, how did it go?
It was actually like a fucking. It's always the crowds are always great there.
Were they swinging while you did it?
No, they never swing while you do it.
Okay.
They always afterwards, and they always do this. You wanna
little piece of the action?
No, thank you.
No.
I ran out of there pretty quick. We didn't win.
Was there any guys in there that you'd? Oh, I don't know.
I actually walked in there and I was like, oh, there's some good-looking dudes here, which I was, because usually I've been at swingers clubs and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
But there were some good-looking dudes and there was like some good-looking couples. I had this one chick eyeing me up and down and I felt like, ooh. I felt really good about myself. She looked at me and was, I don't know, it felt nice.
Yeah, and lesbian sex isn't cheating.
Well, her husband would have joined in probably. I don't know.
Don't let him. No, thank you, sir.
No, you can't.
I have a boyfriend.
We can't. Fucking, we're not winning, Sean.
Oh, no.
Why did you say you wanted to do these? So that you can prove to people that...
Well, no, I just wanted to, I think over time it would be fun to see whether we actually win anything.
We're going to win stuff. I'm going to will it. Hey, look, we might win $50.
Well, look at all this scratching. Why is there so much? There's way more scratching than winning.
I know. I think it's just a way to pass your time when you're sad and broke.
Yeah.
It's a good way to pass your time when you're sad and broke. Oh, this one looks good.
You know you're sad and broke when you just get it and then get them to run the barcode.
Oh, that is I've seen people do that.
Yeah,
That's
I've
upsetting.
seen people do that. Yeah, where they just they're
scratch the barcode.
Give me that $20, do it. Barcode. Fuck, nothing.
That's not going to be us for at least 3 weeks.
For 3 weeks. Let's go straight to barcode on this.
Okay, I don't think we've won anything.
Perfect.
But we might.
Bonus.
What's the bonus? Prize doubler. Okay, I think you have to match a bunch of. I just about drooled on the microphone. I'm so excited. $25. I don't think we won this. No.
Oh boy.
Well.
All right.
We gotta keep track of this. 1 down. We're 1-0. Is that how you do that? 0-1. Yeah. I'm not a sports analyst person. Is that a job? Is that a job?
No. Yeah. The more you talk, the more fun it is. I'm not a sporting analyzing. What are these? What do they call that? 0-1?
I love that I think that this is a sport, too.
Yeah. I'm not a sporty person. I don't usually do that with my thumb.
I'm a competitive scratcher. Oh. I broke out a sweat here. I am feeling warm.
Yeah. Next time, do it with a heavy dime. So that, work on it at home with a heavy nickel.
Yeah.
And then that way, when you get on the podcast, it'll do light as a feather.
I'm going to open up some social media accounts, mostly on Twitter, because I do like to get feedback from our listener. Corey Secondshare. Corey is the only person we're going to follow on Twitter.
That's a good idea. That is a good idea.
But then, yeah. So, we're going to set some stuff up. We're new in this. We're babies. We're
Very
podcast babies.
Well,
and
that was better than the other one we did.
Yeah, we did one that was okay, but you were sad because...
Was I sad?
Well, I mean, you at least on this podcast, you admitted to being, what did you call yourself? You took improv mastery.
Oh, yes, that's right. Master of improv.
He's humble about his improv skills, but
yeah,
anyway.
I was 9.
He was 9.
Still filled with life.
Yeah, he still had a lot of suggestions in you.
Yeah, I needed suggestions. Space Jump was my game.
I loved Space Jump. Freeze. Is that the one?
Freeze. Yeah, that is the freeze one. And then you're on a bench and you're Scottish. That's what I always did. That's what my thing was.
Oh my God.
I was the homeless guy that woke up on a bench and I was always Scottish.
Every time.
Yeah, and then other people just had to adapt to that.
When you were in Anne Frank, did you play it Scottish?
Oi! Where is those gentlemen? And Frank! Get your ass over here.
Everyone would be shushing you.
Oi!
Shh.
Where are they? The floorboards. Somebody choke that baby.
Oh my God.
I don't know. That's episode 1, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks for listening.